So off we went to the hospital and I flew in the door, went up to the counter and just said, like, this is who I am. I've lost a baby before. Something's wrong. Like, can I be seen now? So Nate had to stand in the triage line. We got taken through after I was triaged to, like, emergency rooms. They were like, oh, just try and go to the toilet. It'll be fine. You might be constipated. Or I feel like they were very optimistic, but I suppose they didn't exactly know what was happening or what I felt. I think they did a bedside scan and he was in there and he was all good. Like, I saw him moving, he was fine. But, like, I still was like, I can't go to the toilet. Like, something is wrong. I can't go to the toilet. An obstetrician was going to be a while. They couldn't tell me how long they were going to be, but they were kind of encouraging me to go to the bathroom and I needed to go because it'd been some time. After a while, I went to the toilet and my waters broke. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Loz McGlynn and this is Yeah the Gals, a podcast for the ones doing the juggle. I'll be chatting with women in the thick of it, those taking big leaps, and experts with the insights that we usually type into Google at 2 a.m. If you're winging it like me, you're in the right place and I am so glad you're here. Let's get into it. Ali, welcome.
Hello.
So funny. No, Ali, welcome to Yeah the Gals. I think back to when we were going to have this conversation and it's been a long time coming, and to think about how much happened and then happened after that initial conversation, and to sit here. Tomorrow is your daughter's first birthday.
It sure is.
Oh, which is crazy. For anyone listening today, we are talking about loss, and actually consecutive loss. So prior to the beautiful Lyla coming into the world, you actually welcomed 2 other babies. We're going to honour them both and honour Lyla today. And we're going to kick off with not necessarily lighthearted. Let's kick off with, let's talk about you and Nath, your husband Nath. I've actually had the privilege of knowing you both for, I think, how old are we now?
I'm 32.
Yeah, I'm 33. So we went to school together.
Yeah, and Nath was in your year.
Yeah, Nath was in my year. Westy, better known, which is weird to think that your name is Ali Westrup now. You guys were high school sweethearts too. So been together since you were 16?
Well, I don't really know how many years it's been together, but we were first together when I was 13.
Wow.
And then we broke up and then got back together. I think I was 15.
Yeah.
So been together since 15.
Wow. And so that's
17 years if we're counting from 15.
Yeah. So that's more than half your life.
Yeah.
Insane. You guys got married in
2021.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
4 years last March.
And for you and Nath, you guys have obviously been together for more than half your life. When did you guys start talking about the idea of children and what family looked like to you both?
Yeah, well, I suppose with the wedding, we're getting married in March 2021.
Yeah.
We had conversations prior to the wedding. I hopped off contraception in January of that year. And we were just like, oh, yeah, we'll start trying after the wedding. And, 2 weeks after the wedding, I was pregnant, which was exciting, but we were, did not expect that.
Yeah, so, classic pregnant on the honeymoon, quite literally. Or the night.
Maybe the night of the wedding.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Love
the
that.
Night after or the following.
We won't get bogged down in the details. But, happened really quickly.
Yeah.
And I still remember... I think Westy, his name is Nath, but everyone calls him Westy. I still remember Westy, I think, telling me at a rugby game that you guys were pregnant. I was pregnant with Eloise at the time as well. And so we were in and out of COVID too, right?
Yeah.
We were going in and out of lockdown at that point. So for you, what did that first couple of months look like pregnancy-wise?
Yeah, so I found out I was pregnant in March, end of March. Our best friends got married the following week after I found out. Went on a little, I suppose, friend moon. We couldn't go overseas with COVID. So that was really fun. Went down south. and just had the best time. I think when I got back, I had my dating scan.
Yep.
And so it wasn't COVID then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had my dating scan, which made it feel real because it didn't feel real up until that point. Then I got some symptoms. So I had some vomiting and yeah, which I kind of liked. It was just, yeah. And then we went into lockdown. I think it was June.
Yeah.
June.
Yeah.
I remember having my 18-week scan and we were in lockdown.
Yeah.
So no one could come with me. It was just myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, that scan was fine.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah, was considered normal. I think my placenta was mentioned that it was bilobe. So it's like together, but it was kind of like in 2 parts.
Yeah.
And they just said, well, you'll have to come back before entering the 3rd trimester just to check your placenta. They were like, oh, it's common. Like people, you know, some people have that kind of placenta.
Yeah.
So that was that. So I was 18 weeks then. I think when I was 21 weeks, I had a midwife appointment, which I had the heartbeat, got the referral to have the scan.
Yeah.
Or maybe, no, I don't think it was to get the referral, sorry. It was just to get just a normal appointment. And then following that, the week that I was 23 weeks, I had to go to the hospital to see just an obstetrician to get the referral for the next scan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we haven't really talked about this in detail, like we were just
Yeah.
saying before we started recording. So like this is all just like
Yeah, a lot.
I'm a lot, and I'm like not like
Yeah.
just asking the questions as we go along. But
Mm.
so what happened next after that?
Yeah, so I went to the hospital that morning. It was a Monday morning. I was by myself because it was just like, I'm going to the hospital to get a referral. I was working from home, so I'm a teacher.
Primary school teacher.
Primary school teacher.
Looks like a primary school teacher as well.
I was like, did all I had to do before I went to my appointment. Like I can remember what I was having for dinner that night. Like I can just remember the morning like so clearly. Naif was at work because he was still working on site, whereas I was working completely from home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Off I went and had never met the obstetrician before, and he did like the heartbeat, the Doppler, and I got on the bed, did that, and straight away, like it was taking some time to find it, and I already got panicked straight away because I thought last time I had this done, you know, they found it straight away. I was in like 10,000 layers because it was, winter. And he was just like, oh, I think I'm picking up yours because, like, you know how you can hear that, like, the placenta kind of makes a noise, and it was just like, oh, yeah, kind of sounded, you couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
He then went and said, I'm going to get the bedside, little scanner. So he left the room and got that. And I think then and there I knew that, it wasn't great. Like, I think I just knew, like I was wearing a mask, he was wearing a mask. He come in and I don't know if I looked at the screen, but before he even said the words, like I could just tell, in his eye, just by looking at him that, it wasn't good. He just said, I'm sorry, but there's no heartbeat.
Well,
yeah. So, I just came over like really hot. I was like ripping, like I took the mask off, my jumper, I think I had a few layers on. And I think he might have left the room to then go and get someone, or I'm not too sure. I can't really remember. It's a bit blurry. Like there was a social worker in there within probably a few minutes. Someone else had to come in and confirm that there was no heartbeat. And yeah, I wouldn't say I was having like a panic attack, but I was very flustered and hot. And just,
understandably.
Overall state of like panic.
And like up until that point, everything was really
Yeah,
quite normal,
I
felt normal.
Physically like fine. I had no pain. I had no bleeding. I'd heard the heartbeat a week and a half beforehand.
Yeah.
It was that awkward stage where you kind of feeling movements, but it's not in a pattern.
Yes.
So I suppose in hindsight, I'm like, had I felt, I didn't know the gender at the time. Had I felt her move, it was hard to, being your first pregnancy, I didn't really know.
And you go back and forth between not trying to overthink things,
Yeah.
but then you've not experienced them for the first time. It's like people have those home Doppler kits, which are a blessing and a curse. Like, at what point were you allowed to call Nath?
I think straight away.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a really hard phone call to make.
Yeah.
So he was at work. I called him, and he left work straight away. And then I think I called my mum afterwards. My mum was at an appointment with my nan and pop at the other end of the coast. And yeah, Nath was like an hour away.
Wow. What do they say to you? Like, what are the next?
I don't really know. So it's all a bit blurry of what they're probably saying things to me, but I can't remember.
Okay.
Nate's quick thinking. He called his sister, I think, on his way home from like leaving work to drive to the hospital where I was. And his sister works at the hospital, and she was working that morning. So she was able to be there with me probably within 10 minutes of me calling him. So which was amazing to have someone that's a nurse and a loved one by my side.
What did that look like from a COVID perspective? Because it was, were you restricted?
No.
Gosh.
They were very, like, I suppose, lenient with having people, come in.
Yeah, because I've heard of like some really tough stories, but maybe because we were in the second round, like there was one point where it was really, really restrictive.
Yeah,
but
I think people like giving birth could only have one person.
Yeah.
And no one else.
But that's really nice to hear that you were able to have support around you. Do you remember them explaining what that would mean, like, and what those the next steps were?
I think I already knew. I think in my head it was if you passed 20 weeks, you did have to give like birth to the baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't really remember those conversations. But that day I was I had blood tests. I had to have a formal scan because that bedside scan was just, nothing. But they wanted to have a formal scan. We opted to find out the gender because we didn't know. So I wanted to know then and there rather than having the baby and then finding out. So we found out we're having a girl.
Yeah.
Which was, I don't know, I think it made it seem all the more real. Yeah. Like, made it seem more real.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was at hospital from like, I think 8:30 that morning. I didn't go home until 5 o'clock. So like by that stage, Nath was there. My mum and dad were there. Nath's parents, his sister. So I mean, they were pretty relaxed about people seeing us. But I think given the circumstances.
Did you have to go home before giving birth?
Yeah. So I had some medication to basically start the induction process.
Yeah.
On that Monday afternoon, and was told to come back the Wednesday morning.
So you just had to wait those few days?
Yeah, we just had to go home that night and then have all Tuesday at home and then come back the Wednesday morning.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Which was, I didn't sleep a wink that night.
Yeah.
Probably didn't eat.
Like Nath obviously was with you the whole time.
Yeah. And people drop over food, and like my parents, saw us that night, and they had to pack up like the room that we had started to like, make for our baby because it was painted, and we'd started putting the cot together, and yes, they took all that before we got home.
So then going back to the hospital, you have to go into the the birthing suites.
Yeah.
Like, what was that? Can you remember what that experience?
Yeah, so we had to go back on the Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
I had to have more medication, and then it was basically just a waiting game until I basically went into labour. And I think from memory, it was around probably the afternoon, so it took like all day. To go into labour, I suppose, like start off with cramps and then gradually got, worse and worse.
Yeah. And that's the only option, right? Is that?
Yeah, they say it's best for like your body to give birth.
Yeah.
I do know in some instances, I think when people have been full term, they've opted to have like a cesarean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was kind of just told this is what's happening. Yeah. Which was a lot because I hadn't even looked into like birth or like done a course or anything like that. So it was very just like, whoa, this is happening.
Yeah. You obviously got to see her and
hold her. Yeah. So she was born at 9:25 p.m. and she was 392 grams. And we named her Lexie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've spoken to other people. I've spoke to Beck Bond, who came on and spoke about her experience with her son Otis. And you get time with them, like the hospital
Yeah.
does a few different things. So is that's what you went through as well?
Yeah, but that night things kind of not went like pear-shaped. Well, I suppose they did go pear-shaped. Like I gave birth to her. I got to hold her briefly, and then it was like, oh, you got to get the placenta out now. And then for me, I was just like, I hadn't even thought about that. And I suppose because I wasn't full term, it wasn't ready to come out. So I think I don't know how long it was, but tried to get it out and it wasn't coming out. So a doctor came in and they tried to get it out manually, which was just horrific on top of what I'd already been through. And then the call was made that I'd have to go to theatre to have it removed manually, like be put under to have it removed. I think because I was losing blood and yeah, so that kind of took away the time being spent with her.
I didn't.
Yeah, so that was full on. I don't know how long he was trying to get it out for, but yeah, as I was getting ready for theatre, I think I became a bit unresponsive. Like they hit a button, there was all people in the room. I think my blood pressure must have dropped. And yeah, so that was full on.
On top of everything else.
Yeah, Mum was in the corner. She was crying because Mum was able to be there with Nathan and I.
Yeah.
Which was lovely to have a second person there with us. But yeah, so I had to be like stabilised and then I was taken to theatre.
Oh.
So I probably didn't get back to the room until midnight. Yeah, when she was born at 9:25.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Like
Yeah.
that is
A lot.
It's a lot. That's
Yeah.
a lot to process. And as you said, like having the lead up,
Mm.
the fact that you had to be in hospital, go home, come back, it's COVID, that you give birth to Lexie.
And you kind of think that's it. Like now I
Yeah.
can just, spend some time with her. And then it was like, oh no, you've got to get the placenta out. And that was just all I didn't even think or wasn't prepared for that. And I don't think I was spoken to about it prior, like to giving birth.
Yeah, that could be a circumstance that would need to be considered.
Yeah.
I mean, they act quickly, like as they need to,
Yeah.
in that circumstance. What did that mean for Nathan, your mum, like in that time? Were they just waiting for you?
Yeah, waiting for me to come back from theatre.
What about Lexie?
Yeah, it's just they put the babies in a cuddle cot.
Yes.
So I think while I was, gone, she was, taken and put in the cuddle cot somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I think it wasn't until the morning that, we were back together again.
Yeah. This is something that I didn't know, but one of our girlfriends told me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but because of the age or the gestation of Lexie, she had to have both a birth and death certificate. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that also means like that there is like funeral considerations as well.
Yeah, so the social worker the next day was coming and speaking about that, about cremation, just, yeah, lots of things that you just don't think about or think that you have to, I suppose, navigate.
Like I don't even know the word to explain what that period of time must have been for you guys. And to then go home, like those next couple of weeks and months, we're in lockdown, you're not like, you can't even really just try and
like get back to normal.
No, because I wasn't. So a bunch of our mates all tried to, get together and do a couple of different things. I remember one of the, like, because in COVID, lots of restaurants and hospitality were doing heaps of random things. So we dropped off a voucher. Yeah, a voucher and then some donuts.
Yeah.
I
remember that.
I did not know what to do. And that must have been really hard because you probably didn't even know what you needed at that point.
Yeah.
What were those next couple of weeks and months for you guys?
Yeah, I suppose a bit of a blur.
Yeah.
You know, I just remember like we had lots of flowers, there was food vouchers, Uber Eats vouchers, sweet treats, just, you know, from our family and friends. Nath had a few weeks off work, and when he went back to work, I wasn't going to sit at home all day by myself. So I'd go to my mum's house because she was working from home. So I'd just hang out there all day rather than, you know, being at home by myself.
Yeah.
Because, I didn't go back to work until school resumed face-to-face. A few of our friends, I think you would have put in money to cover like the funeral, the cremation, a plaque for Lexie. So yeah,
And just
like about 20-something people put in to cover the cost for that, which was just nice.
It's
really nice.
wild to think that that's a consideration in amongst everything else.
Yeah.
And then your recovery as well. What did that look like, having had to go through surgery? And
I had to have a blood transfusion the next day before leaving on the Thursday, and I left hospital on the Friday. So I had to have a blood transfusion. So I was just tired, and yeah, but physically, I suppose after a week felt, I suppose, back to normal, as normal as I could be.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, just was taking it easy anyway. I couldn't really do much. Could go for a walk, but that was kind of it with lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then emotionally, like
Yeah.
you said about having a social worker come, and did they offer support to you and Nath afterwards?
They touched base with me at home a few times.
Yeah.
And then my GP referred me to a counsellor. And so I did that session to that counsellor. I think it was like a mental health care plan. I think I got 4 sessions or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did that, in those probably October or September, October, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to know, like it's hard in its own right to like find somebody to speak to when you're trying to process something that you don't know how to process. And there are some amazing therapists out there, but it doesn't mean you default and just like find the right one straight away. As someone like who hadn't had therapy before, like it's, you know, how do you divulge like what's going on? And then when it came to talking about the future of child planning, could they tell you what had even happened with Lexie?
It was not like clear. So I think it was supposed to be in October, but it was pushed back to November because of COVID. We opted for an autopsy because we wanted to find out, you know, what we could do next time or plan ahead and like have more information that we could have. So that appointment wasn't till November. And I went back and they were just like, oh, could have been this, could have been this. You know, she was genetically okay. They reckoned like my placenta, they weren't sure about something about blood supply to her. She became anemic. Blood was mixing. Like it was just really like wishy-washy. Like I'm still today not sure.
So there was no definitive she had
clear answer. And with the autopsy, when we went back in November, they're just the interim results. You've got to wait a full year for the like final report.
Wow.
Yeah. And so at that appointment, they were just like, well, yeah, you can start trying again. But like I can't guarantee that it won't happen again. Or so it was just like I left that appointment like I was really upset because I just thought, well, what's not really a plan for moving forward.
Yeah.
It was not clear.
That is incredible. Like a lot of feelings.
Yeah.
Like frustrating, but then also like can imagine fear for like what that looked like. I mean, and then did they give any recommendation of things that you could do, or they were just like,
no, not really. They just said like when you are pregnant, call us, like you'll be high risk. You might need to take aspirin. And that was kind of, I suppose, the aftercare following, you know, what had happened.
Wow. Yeah, I don't really know how to explain.
Yeah. I think for us, like Nathan and I, we wanted, you know, there to be clear, like, oh, this is what happened and this is what you can do next time.
100%.
Yeah. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So it was just like, you know, surely next time it will be okay.
Yeah.
You know, this was just bad luck
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Did they, a year later, when you got the full autopsy report, was
It
there
was
anything?
still the same.
Yeah. And so then you guys decided to try again.
Yeah.
And because you'd fallen so quickly with Lexie, did you guys sort of think it wasn't about us falling pregnant?
Yeah,
It was
we
just
thought
like,
that would be the easy part.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
And it wasn't. Yeah, like my GP, like, I obviously had this GP since I was a baby. Like, she's lovely, amazing. Like, she was like, oh yeah, like, give it like 6 months. Like, you should be pregnant within 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't always happen straight away.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was kind of like, well, 6 months.
Yeah.
We'll give it 6 months kind of thing. And like, I'd never experienced having to try and then not be pregnant, because I got pregnant the first month.
Yeah.
So that was just like
Another layer.
awful.
Yeah. Just add another layer out.
Yeah, and even I suppose in those first few months, it was already just like, it was just like you would know, it's just like consuming.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Well,
horrible.
I think having sat in such limbo, like having total grief trauma to going, well, at least, like, let's just move on
Yeah.
and like try and, you know,
Focus
continue.
on, something else.
And so for then that to not happen is like, that's a whole other layer.
Yeah.
And at what point did you guys go back and sort of seek some advice?
I was always chatting to my GP. Like, I think I had like a blood test to make sure all my levels were good, because obviously I had the blood transfusion. I was on iron tablets. So I had to make sure my iron was all good and all that sort of stuff. So I was always like in constant communication with her. I think I had a blood test to check that I was ovulating like a few months after, because I just was kind of like, am I not?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was.
Yeah.
And I think in April I started going to acupuncture, because I was like, I'm stressed, like I'm not relaxed and all that sort of stuff. And then I think it was June, I went back to the hospital to see the people that I saw in November of 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went back in June to be like, well, you know, it's been 6 months, I'm not pregnant. You know, is there something I can do? Is there something, you know, I'm doing wrong? Like, kind of like, not a cry for help, but, you know, this is affecting my mental health.
100%.
My our marriage, it's, you know, what can we do kind of thing. And I suppose I don't want to like talk badly about, you know, anybody, but I suppose the advice I was given was, you need to relax, you know, don't try this month, you'll probably get pregnant the next month, go on a holiday. It was all just advice that makes you roll your eyes.
Oh, like,
Yeah.
there's so much anger.
Yeah. And I was stressed about being stressed. Like, I knew I was stressed, and then you stress about being stressed.
100%. I
Yeah.
mean, it's such shit advice.
Yeah.
Like, and you look for like, I feel like
Yeah.
you want to look for glimmers,
Yeah.
and like, you're already
Mm.
beating yourself up over so many different
Yeah.
parts. That's really tough, regardless of well-intended or not.
Yeah.
I think that's like, you expect that from maybe like potentially family and friends that are just trying to help, but to get that from like medical team, like, to like, I don't know, I just would think they'd have a little bit more, they'd want to
Like,
support
empathy?
empathy, or
Yeah,
like, let's run some tests, let's just investigate a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
And so then you ended up getting a second opinion.
Well, no. So after June, they sent me for a pelvic ultrasound, just a PRP. That came back normal.
Yeah.
I think it showed I was ovulating. That was the only piece of information. Then I had to go back to the hospital in August for the final autopsy results. And it was the same people that I saw in June and November. So I mentioned again, you know, I'm not pregnant. It'd been 1 year since, you know, losing Lexie. I'd been trying since November of that year. So it's coming up to probably 9 months of actively trying. I said, like, you know, I'm at my wit's end here. Like, what can I do? I need a plan. And yeah, again, it was just the same kind of advice. They mentioned, it's not invasive testing's not recommended till you've been trying for 12 months. And yeah, I left that appointment and booked in with my GP and got a specialist referral.
Yeah.
To go and see someone else.
Do you feel like there was something not right? You're like, it just
Yeah,
felt
well, I was like, I'm
not.
ovulating. I got pregnant, the first month. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Like, something has to be happening because, it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then as we go on, like, I don't know, it'll come like full circle.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway.
And so, like, love a good GP.
Yeah.
We love that. And got a referral to a specialist.
Yes.
Did you feel like, how did that feel for you being like, okay, you're advocating for yourself as well?
We wanted a plan.
Yeah, and people find it's so daunting to know when to advocate for yourself because you put such trust in the medical system who, there's some amazing, like shout out to some amazing nurses and doctors and specialists. So you don't want to be like dismissive of them, but then also like you want answers and you want to move on. So you went to a specialist?
Yeah, so I booked the appointment, I think, end of August, and I had to wait till November to see them.
Oh my God.
Like a wait, like.
Yeah, of course. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I basically got to that appointment and she was a lovely lady, but she's like, I can't help you until you have these tests done. And they were the invasive testing that the hospital didn't recommend till 12 months. So then I just kind of felt like, well, I should have been bringing those test results to you.
Yeah.
But here I am, kind of not knowing what, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by then it had been 12 months.
Yeah, it had been 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I waited all this time for this appointment and it was just like, I had to have blood test with AMH levels. They've had to do a sperm analysis and I had to have a high cozy, which is just the, I suppose, more invasive ultrasound.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like the tube flushing situation. Yeah.
Yeah, so she was just like, yeah, I can't help you until you have all of that done. And I'd waited like 3 months for that appointment.
I mean, we talk about like the physical side and like, all the specialist appointments, but like psychologically as well, that is so much. That is such a weight to carry.
Yeah, and the time, I think, like of just feeling like time was being wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then I suppose in hindsight, now I'd be like, I should have asked for that testing, 6 months afterwards, or in maybe that June appointment I went to, I should have said, can I have this and this done?
Yeah.
But you don't know what you don't know at the time.
On them to tell you and to guide you a bit. And so, like, for, I guess, anybody listening, it would be like, just demand it.
Yeah, like if you feel like something's not right, and
ask.
I suppose something like in therapy, I kind of worked on was if you want a test done or like an extra ultrasound or something else, an appointment, end of the day, you're the customer that you're paying for it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
100% it does.
Yeah.
It's like we feel like you feel like you don't want to be a burden on people and you're like, I don't want to be annoying. Like, I don't know why we do that. Like as women, you're like, oh, like only if you think so. Like it's like that's their job. That's what they're paid for. Like, but it's really hard to do in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so went and got the tests and had the high cozy.
Yeah. So we probably didn't do that until January 2023, just with it being the end of November.
Yeah.
I suppose our, not marriage was at breaking point, but, we were both, I suppose our mental health had really been affected with, trying to conceive and it wasn't happening and just all that pressure. And I suppose being in like a 4-week cycle, like you get your period, you're sad, and then, your mood picks up. You're like, yeah, this is the month. And then you're waiting and then it's not. And then we were just like living that, for
the schedule.
Yeah, such a long time.
Yeah.
And then, with the added layer of, grief and Lexie and...
How is Nath navigating this at this point? Because it's so much, like, and you often, like, it's your body, like, and so you're doing all the appointments and trying to keep busy and, like, but we don't often think or about the partner and like they're trying to navigate how to support you and grieve themselves. And then you talk about like that 4-week, like absolute, like, right, what is the word? You're on the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was Nath?
Yeah, I think at the start he was trying to just, put on a brave face and, look after me. But yeah, like, I can't think of the word, like, be not a protector, but like he was just really putting on a brave face. And then, yeah, I think when we went to the specialist appointment, he, just needed to take a step back because it was all too much. Like, it was all too much for both of us. Yeah. With just, I suppose, the uncertainty of what the future was going to look like.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So I think we just put a pause on things with it, I suppose, being coming up to Christmas.
Yeah.
And yeah, we did the testing the beginning of the following year.
So January, you go and have the tests.
Yeah, so I think I did the blood test in January. That was my 30th birthday, and then kind of with all that happening, I don't think I did the high cozy until February because you've got to line it up with your period.
Yeah.
I think you got to get it done. Yeah, once your period finishes is the best time to do it.
Yeah.
So I had to line that up, and yeah, Nath did his bit and went back to the specialist, I think, in March 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, my blood test was fine. AMH levels were fine. Nath was all good. The only thing that showed was that I had scarring in my uterus. And the specialist, I suppose, called it Asherman's syndrome, mild Asherman's syndrome. Just, I suppose, scar tissue formed from prior trauma. So I suppose to do with like the birth of Lexie or the placenta. Yeah. And
because you had it manually taken because it was like a bit of a procedure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I think people that have full-term babies could end up with scarring. Like, I'm not entirely sure of like the reasoning why it formed.
Yeah.
I just, maybe it's trauma.
Yeah.
And she explained it that potentially maybe every month, could have been pregnant, but, when you're not pregnant, your uterus is small and there was like adhesion, scarring in it. Say the embryo didn't have anywhere to implant because there was no room or, the scar tissue was there. So she was like, we'll just remove it.
And so just like a surgery?
Yeah, a day surgery procedure. Yeah.
So had the surgery?
Yeah, had the surgery. And yeah, she was like, we'll give it a shot, see if you get pregnant. Like, she was pretty positive. I was probably not so much. I was like, who knows what could happen.
Given all of the time and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I had to wait, I think it was 6 weeks after the surgery before trying again.
Yeah.
Probably which brought us to May of that year. And yeah, I was pregnant, found out I was pregnant on the 12th of July. So pretty soon after the surgery.
Wow.
So in my head, I was like, well, it was a surgery.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, that's all that needed to be done kind of thing.
Like, I just imagine the frustration of the time that took. But did, like, knowing that, okay, actually, like, I'm pregnant, it can happen.
Yeah.
Like.
It was super exciting.
Yeah.
And I think because it was such, like, a long-awaited time, I didn't really feel, like, obviously I was a little bit anxious, but I wasn't terrified because it just had been such a long time. I just thought, well, this is it. This will be all good.
And at this point is when you and I spoke about you coming on and having a chat with the gals, and you were like, I'm not ready, but one day I will be ready.
Yeah.
And I remember speaking to our girlfriend Liz, and we were at a kid's birthday party actually, and I remember we were trying for Ava. And we were doing IVF again. And Liz, at that point, we'd found out that you were having a baby. You'd told us. And I hope it's okay for me to say this.
Yeah.
But I said to Liz was like, how are you guys going? I was like, yeah, we're just like getting ready to start IVF again. I was like, but really, I couldn't care less. I'm just so happy that Ali and Nath are finally having a baby.
Yeah.
And so what did that look like?
Well, I suppose I'll start at like the beginning of the pregnancy. Because I had the specialist, I was kind of under the care of her initially.
Yep.
So she put me on progesterone, like the pessaries. I think I did my dating scan like under her, and that was all good. And then I think at around 9 weeks, I was like connected with the hospital. And yeah, like I had the dating scan. I think I had a scan at 9 weeks. I had the nip test done and had an 11-week scan and then the 13-week scan. So I was having them every fortnight. I stopped the progesterone kind of once I left the specialist. And then I started taking aspirin from about 9 weeks. And that was to be continued through the whole pregnancy. I think just to do with like blood clotting. Not entirely sure, but yeah. And yeah, I had the scan at 13 weeks. And in my head, when I made that appointment, I was going to make a scan for 15 weeks because I was just having them every fortnight, for me.
Advocating for yourself. Yeah.
Making sure that everything was okay. And, with not knowing what happened to Lexie, it was kind of, creeping up to that time, but I was obviously going to get closer to 23 weeks and, the anxiety would have set in. So when I went to make that appointment, the lady was like, oh, maybe just make it 16 weeks. You can have the early morphology scan. And, in my head, I was like, oh, all right, I'll be brave. Like I've done so well. I'm feeling good. Like I can wait 1 more week. So that was at 13 weeks. We had our gender reveal that following weekend just because we were just like, we're just embracing this and we didn't know the gender with Lexie. So we're just trying to make it different as we could. And Nate was really not on board with the gender reveal. I think just having his card up. And I was like, no, we're doing this. And it's a barbecue and all our family and friends came over. And yeah, we found out we're having a boy.
Yeah.
Which we didn't expect because I felt exactly like I felt with Lexie. So yeah, we were just like so excited and shocked that we were having a boy. And I suppose following that, I was going camping for the long weekend in October. Before I left, I was 15 weeks that week and I wasn't having the scan. So I just went to the hospital to see the midwife to do the heartbeat before I went away. And the heartbeat was there. It was all good. We went camping and then we came home on the Monday. Yeah, the Monday. And we were selling our house, kind of in the process of getting our house on the market. So I came home and I was running around, unpacking and just not sitting still. And we had dinner that night. I was eating at like our island bench and my lower back started to hurt. And I just thought, oh, that's weird. Like I'm sitting down. Normally you would start aching if I was on my feet for too long. So I moved from the like island bench to the lounge and finished my dinner and then needed to go to the toilet. So off I went. And as I went to go to the toilet, I felt like a weird pressure, like where I wouldn't, normally, feel or yeah, I felt before. So yeah, I immediately like froze, didn't go to the toilet, got up and was just like in a mad panic. I was like, something's wrong, just like freaking out. Naif's, was like, what's going on? I'm like, something doesn't feel right. I just feel weird, like we need to go to hospital. And yeah, so off we went to the hospital and I like flew in the door, went up to the counter and just said like, this is who I am. I've lost a baby before, something's wrong. Like, can I be seen now? And said, oh, you need to be triaged. So Nate had to stand in the triage line. We got taken through after I was triaged to like emergency rooms. And they were like, oh, like just try and go to the toilet, it'll be fine. You might be constipated, or I feel like they were very optimistic, but I suppose, they didn't exactly know what was happening or what I felt. I think I did a bedside scan and he was in there and he was all good. Like, I saw him moving, he was fine. But like, I still was like, I can't go to the toilet. Like, something is wrong. I can't go to the toilet. And an obstetrician was going to be a while. They couldn't tell me how long they were going to be. But they were kind of encouraging me to go to the bathroom, and I needed to go because it'd been some time. And after a while, I went to the toilet and my waters broke. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know if you knew that.
Did it feel different? Obviously, you're knowing you like. Did you feel like this is not something is fully different?
Yeah, like before like at home when I felt something that I could feel that something wasn't right, like it was just like a weird like pressure feeling. And then yeah, when my waters broke at the hospital, I knew that in there like what it was. Yeah, the obstetrician came and they did the test to check to see if it was amniotic fluid. And yeah, like I knew that it was. And yeah, I just remember like he started talking and I couldn't hear him. Like everything was just quiet. I remember looking at Nath and his head was in his hands and I was just like, how am I here? Like what is even happening? And it was so weird because we found out about Lexie on the 2nd of August. It was the 2nd of October. Like I remember looking at, there was like a clock and the date was on the wall and I was like, what is going on? And then she was born on the 4th of August. Oli was born on the 4th of October. Like it was just, yeah. Insane.
Oh,
and yeah, I think my mum, as I think the obstetrician was coming, my mum got there and she kind of, I suppose, got all the information. And I think in my head, I didn't know, I thought if you were past 20 weeks, you had to give birth to your baby. I didn't know that it was actually 15 weeks. So when I found out that I had to give birth again, I was just like this is, no, I don't want to do that.
yeah.
But then, kind of I had to.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I always thought it was 20 weeks.
Oh my God.
Even like post Lexie, I thought, yeah, if you were past 20 weeks gestation, but it was 15 and I was 15 and I was close, pretty much 16 weeks.
And so having to go through the entire process again.
Yeah.
Did you have to go home?
No. So I can't really remember, but we stayed the night in emergency. I asked for something to put me to sleep because I was like, just knock me out. Like, I don't want to be awake. I don't think it worked though because I was pretty much awake the whole night. And the next morning they were like, yeah, you can have the medication and go home. And I was like, no, I'm not going home. Like, I think because my waters had broke, I was like, I'm not going home and having this baby at home. Because it was just kind of like, this isn't what happened with Lexie. It was something completely different.
Yeah.
So, I think my mum had called like the midwife because I was in like the complex care, I suppose, team. And she was working. So she came down and she arranged for me to go to maternity. And I was in the same room for where I birthed Lexie. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. And so you and Nath and your mum, was she there and stayed with you guys?
I don't think she was there for the birth, but so this was the Tuesday. I got the medication, got sent up to maternity. I don't think nothing much happened that day. I think I was seen by a doctor, and he was not like genuinely interested, but was really, I suppose, concerned. It was like, you've had 2 second trimester losses. If that's not common, like early miscarriage is common. This was 2, 23 weeks, 16 weeks. Like, what is going on here? Kind of thing. And he said because my waters had broken that it was most likely my cervix. So labor was going to look a bit different because, yeah, my cervix was probably already open. I didn't have to kind of go through the same sort of process as I did with Lexie.
Yeah.
And yeah, he started looking at all like my ultrasounds and like trying to like piece together as like, why has this happened? But he was like, I'm pretty sure your cervix is incompetent. So it had just shortened and then it's, I suppose, opened essentially.
It's completely unrelated.
Completely unrelated. And I think my mum and Nath and I think Nath was just in a bit of shock, but my mum's like, you don't understand, like, how long it took to get pregnant, like, how has this happened and all this sort of stuff. And it was a bit, I suppose, on the ultrasounds that I had, because I had 4 of them, because I never had an internal, your cervix is only, like, accurately measured if you have an internal ultrasound, and I'd never had one. They were always just done, like, on my belly. So the cervix readings were, like, not, like, 1 week it was, say, 3 centimeters. The next week it might have been a little bit less. And then, yeah, it was just kind of, like, not consistent.
Yeah.
But he was like, there's kind of, like, a red flag there.
And so that essentially should have been picked up.
Yeah, it's hard to say because I don't want to blame. I don't want to.
No,
but, like,
no.
yeah, I don't know. They were looking at other things, or yeah.
Probably trying to focus on other areas.
Yeah, like maybe my placenta and the growth
Yeah.
of the growth of bub, and yeah, like I was told at the hospital, different pregnancy, different baby, different outcome, and I really believed that everything was going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then when it wasn't, it was just like I felt numb, like complete shock, probably more shock than the first time.
Yeah. Understandably.
Yeah.
And so Oli was born.
Yeah, by the doctor that I suppose was, advocating, for us and really trying to get to the bottom of what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was born on the 4th of October at 5:03 and he was 129 grams. So yeah, it was smaller than Lexie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to hold him and yeah, it's perfectly little formed bubba.
Yeah. You guys have been through it. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you even leave the hospital? Like,
really hard, and having to do that a second time. And the hospital was a place that even after Lexie, I struggled to go back to, like, for appointments, and I wasn't a safe place anymore. And then having to go back there and do exactly the same thing again and then leave without a baby was just, like horrific.
And you're going into the birthing suites and you're in the maternity ward. Like, there are other people there that don't really, like, are there leaving with babies.
Yeah.
That's not what they're thinking, and you're going in.
Yeah.
Like, that in itself is really quite, like, a horror.
Yeah,
That's a
like,
lot.
I didn't really leave the room. Like, you kind of just stay in the room.
Those next couple of weeks and months, what does that, like, you and Nath, like, you go home?
Yeah. Well, it was different with, I suppose, not being in lockdown. We were in the process of selling our house, so we kind of just got back into fixing up the house and tidying up. I probably should have been resting, relaxing, but yeah, I was just go.
Trying to stay distracted.
Distracted. I think Nath had a few weeks off work, or maybe only like 2 weeks. It was the school holidays at the time. And then I think I took only 3 weeks off, which was quite a short amount of time compared to, like, with Lexie, I, had a lot longer off.
Did you want to go back to work straight away?
I mean, I got a doctor's certificate to have the rest of the year off, but I was just like, well, what am I doing at home? Like, sitting here by myself, like, everyone's at work, or people that aren't at work are with their kids, and mum was obviously working face to face. She wasn't at home, working from home. So yeah, I only took a few weeks off to physically recover, and then I just
went back.
Yeah, and I look back and I'm like, I don't know how I did that.
Yeah.
I was on kindergarten at the time, like, just got back straight back in there.
Who was your support, like your close support network in that time as well?
Obviously my family, but my mum, like, she's just this whole process has just been, like, amazing.
Yeah.
Close friends, like Nate's family, my colleagues at work, a few people that I'm really close to, obviously, like, knew the details of what I'd been through.
Yeah.
And just, like, lent on them.
Did you and Nath talk about like trying again? Like,
Yeah, so we went back to the doctor that I've spoken about. He, I don't know, it was probably, Ollie was born in October, so probably saw him maybe November.
yeah.
Oh, it was 6 weeks after, because I had a high cozy before going back to see him, because I thought, I'm prepared this time. Like, I'm going to do what needs to be done now. Maybe there's scarring. I was thinking ahead. Do I need a hysteroscopy again? Like, because I paid for that surgery. Like, I was just, I suppose, thinking ahead. And he was like pretty certain. He's like, yeah, your cervix is incompetent. So I suppose moving ahead, he said, next pregnancy, we'll just have to monitor your cervix and then put in a cervical cerclage, cervical stitch. I suppose it's probably easy to say. Cervical stitch to like hold your cervix basically in place for your next pregnancy. And he was kind of like, yeah, like you can start trying again. The high cozy showed that I did have scarring in my uterus. So I was like, is that old scarring? Because it was, only been 6 weeks. So then again, there was a conversation of, well, do we remove it? Do you try? Like all that. And I suppose being the time of the year, I was like, oh, we'll just, wait till the new year, maybe March or April. We'll just, yeah. And I wouldn't say, well, I suppose we were trying, but it was more just like, this is just a lot. Like, let's just kind of not go for it. But we really didn't think that getting pregnant was going to be easy, because it wasn't easy the second time around.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not like the actively hamster wheel 4 weeks.
Yeah, like
but
looking
just
at dates and being like,
Yeah.
it was more
Yeah.
just like, yeah, we'll just see what like happens. And
yeah, like
yeah.
bit on, lots like
Yeah, we moved our house sold, and yeah, I think December we moved into my parents' garage because we bought a new house, and it was
oh my god, I remember you guys did that.
Yeah. So there was just like a lot going on. Like I remember leaving like our house, and like I was happy to be leaving it, because it just, not that it held like bad memories, but it was just like,
It was tainted.
it wasn't home anymore. And like there was a bedroom there that we painted that I just left it empty.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So it was very happy to leave there.
They
But
talk
then-
about it like shifting energy too.
Yeah.
That it's like it's closure in its own way. Like I remember talking to Bryn about her mum and like her moving was like shifting that energy. Yeah. Which is like therapeutic, like a bit like therapeutic in its own
I think so.
way. Yeah.
My mum had made me an appointment with a private obstetrician, I suppose back in October when I lost Ollie, just to get a second opinion, and I suppose maybe look down, that route. And I had that appointment on the 5th of January, just to get, another opinion, to be like, what would you do, for this next pregnancy? And I suppose to talk about, the scarring and whether I should have that removed. And yeah, we spoke all about that. And then, I found out I was pregnant 10 days later.
From you had the specialist appointment.
Yeah,
and then
on the 5th of January, and I found out I was pregnant on the 15th of January. So I would have been like early days pregnant there, but just didn't know.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So was that because you just had done a pregnancy test, or because you found out from the specialist, or you just did a pregnancy test?
Yeah, so my period was late, and I think I was actually at your house the weekend, the day before I did the test. Yeah, I think I was.
Was that at my parents?
No, it was at your house.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, I dropped Nath there, and then I wasn't sure if I was coming, and then I came later. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually remember when you're talking about, oh my god.
Yeah, so then and there I was like, oh, my period's late, but like, I thought my body's probably just, doing its thing, or, being only, I suppose, quite soon after Ollie. I didn't really know what was going on. I think I may have got a sign that I thought my period was coming, but then it kind of stopped, and I just thought, oh, God knows what's wrong with me. Like, yeah. And then the next morning, the Monday, Nate went to work really early, because he was working away and I was just wide awake and I was like, something's wrong with me. You know, I think I was Googling like, what does it mean if your period comes and then stops? Like all these things. And I just thought, well, I may as well rule out that I'm not pregnant because I really thought I wasn't.
Yeah.
So I did a test and yeah, it was positive.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Which was, yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Because then it was kind of like the first month of trying post Oli,
Yeah.
but the scar tissue wasn't removed. And then I was like, did I ever need the scar tissue removed after Lexie? And it was just like, this doesn't all make sense. But
yeah.
fertility, I don't think does. So
No, nothing is linear. That's
No.
for sure.
yeah.
And also just given all of the prior history for you guys, like your mind's probably not there because you're just trying to process everything that had happened like not too long before then.
Yeah.
Wow. And so pregnant,
Yeah.
and then the roller coaster starts again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I went back to my private obstetrician, Kelly Hankins, and told her that I was pregnant, even though I was just there 10 days earlier, you know,
Yeah.
telling her my whole story. So I was put on progesterone, pessaries, and aspirin, and I was to stay on them for the whole pregnancy.
Yeah.
What
did she say?
Oh, she was just like, I didn't like expect you to be back, you know, this soon. Because I think at that appointment on the 5th of January, she gave me paperwork for the hysteroscopy.
Yeah.
And was like, if you want it done, here it is ready. So it's all filled out.
Yeah. Shout out to Kelly Hankins. She was also my she's a obstetrician gynecologist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She was also my gynecologist prior. So she's amazing.
Yeah.
We love Dr. Kelly Hankins. Also, Peter Skilbeck has been mentioned on the potty a couple of times as well. So
basically just intuition private.
Yeah. If in doubt, intuition private. Yeah, we love them.
But I will just say this whole pregnancy, I was kept on my toes like the whole time. Like there wasn't a point where I was like relaxed about it.
I was going to say, like, would you ever be? Like, it's.
No, no.
Being pregnant is supposed to be this like euphoric experience and, you know, just embracing just like how amazing women are. I mean, you in yourself, everything that you have gone through. But that's not always the case for everyone. And like, given the history of everything that you had gone through, like I can't imagine never not going into a different thought.
Yeah, it was really overwhelming, and I felt the, I suppose, pressure of if this pregnancy doesn't work, like, you know, what are my chances here?
Yeah.
Like of carrying a baby to full term or, that kind of thing. And she, I suppose, different from the doctor that I saw in hospital, she was like, regardless of what your cervix is doing, we're just going to put the stitch in anyway.
Yeah.
You know, once you pass the first trimester.
Yeah.
So that was the plan. And yeah, I had my dating scan and that was at 7 weeks. I went a little bit early just because I was going back to work and I just thought I may as well just do it while I'm off.
Also fair.
And yeah, they couldn't really find the baby.
No.
Yeah, so that was really like, I had to have an internal and it was just measuring a lot smaller than what my dates were. So I was just like sick to my stomach. I was like, this, you know, it's either stop growing and like all those thoughts, you know, running through my head. They were basically like, you've got to come back in a week and a half. And I was like, I can't wait a week and a half. Like, yeah. So that week was really hard to wait out, just, you know, to make sure the pregnancy was viable.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get a date from that scan. So I had to redo the dating scan and yeah, Bob had grown and was looking fabulous.
Yes.
So my dates were just, I suppose, a bit off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then from then I had fortnightly scans and then, checking on the cervix every time. And that was all good, I think, up until about 12 weeks. So the plan was to put the stitch in the week that I was 14 weeks pregnant. The Friday before, I was having another scan just to make sure it was all good, because the 12-week scan, it was, you know, a good length. It was, you know, normal, I suppose, as the everyday person. At that 13-week scan, it had dramatically, like, shortened. I think I've had that many ultrasounds that before the sonographer said anything, I'm looking at the numbers going, you know, I knew then and there it said 1.9 or 2 centimeters, and I knew then and there that was It has
Sure.
changed.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be about, I think, 3 to 4 is like, I would say, normal. So I was just like sent into a spiral.
You're like, put those stitches in.
Yeah.
ASAP.
Yeah. But Kelly was across the road, like in Intuition. She came over and looked at the report, and I went into one of her rooms and she was like, I think it can wait until Monday. Like, I think it's okay. But I think for me, I was just like,
No.
I don't think I can. Like, how am I supposed to go to the toilet? Like, what if, I was just thinking, what if this happens again? Like, what if my waters break, basically?
Yeah, 100%.
And then she decided that she was going to do the stitch on the Saturday. So move it 2 days. Yeah, so
Thank you, Kelly.
yeah, I really needed that to happen ASAP.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got that done on the Saturday. That was just a day surgery procedure.
Yeah.
That I was awake for, which was quite weird.
Yeah, interesting.
So it was like I was having a cesarean. So I had like a spinal block, and yeah, I was awake, and she just stitched my cervix, and yeah,
that was it.
an experience.
I mean, add it to the list of things out.
Yeah.
Just, pop that one on there.
Yeah, I got to see Bub before she started.
Yeah.
And like after on a little like ultrasound machine, and
Yeah.
we didn't know what we were having. So that was
Did you find out then?
No, we didn't know the whole time.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. And so then
I had the stitch. Yeah. And I had a few weeks off work that led into the holidays. So it was 5 weeks in total.
Yeah.
So it was just really nice to.
How did you guys, you and Nath, obviously you still have to go to all the appointments, the ultrasounds and all the checkups, like, you're carrying the baby. But for Nath, what was that like for him? He's gone through trauma alongside you as well. How did you guys navigate this pregnancy?
Yeah, I think early on, most of my scans were during the week and they were quite early in the day.
Yeah.
So I found, I was always anxious leading up to them, best to get them over and done with in the morning. I think he kind of missed the first few at the start. And I mean, I wasn't, worried. Like, Mum was always there to come with me as well. And then once I had the stitch put in, we started having the scans with a fetal maternal medicine specialist that comes up to Intuition. And he was there on Saturdays. So, yeah, he wasn't able to come. But then when it came down to it, he didn't really want to come.
Yeah.
And, like, he kind of said, oh, like, take your mum, or, like, his mum, or there was lots of people, like, wasn't short of people to come with me. And I wouldn't say we were fighting, but I was just kind of like, well, that's a cop-out.
Yeah.
Because I have to go. Like, I don't get a choice. I'm anxious, nervous, worried kind of thing. And I suppose kind of unpacking that with my mum and his sister, we kind of came to like the conclusion that he's just got his guard up. He's trying to protect himself. He's had to watch, these things go wrong and just, not being, he couldn't really do anything,
Yeah.
Kind of felt a bit like not useless, but what could he do?
Yeah.
Kind of thing, having to watch all that happen. And I suppose with his sister, we kind of like, we need someone else to come because he can't really be the support person for you because he needs to be supported, if that makes sense.
And it's so fair because, you were saying before, like, your body and your intuition is amazing. And you were knowing and feeling these things before people had even confirmed them.
Yeah.
But I imagine that would be really difficult for anyone's partner who already feel out of their depths and not really understanding. Like, you hear about partners they don't really realize or experience that euphoria themselves until the baby comes into the world. And you're like, as women, we're thinking, feeling, navigating it. And so then when something really traumatic happens and you guys both go through grief, like, grief just looks different to them, but then they also don't know how to like deal with it, and as you said before, trying to be the protector and like be there for you in their own way. So it is like understandable.
Yeah.
Like
Once I think we went to an appointment and someone else came. It was not relaxed. It was relaxed because we had someone there that was kind of not on the outside, but yeah, it was kind of there for us both.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
And then starting the scans with the specialist, kind of different to like a normal scan. He would speak through the whole scan. Everything he was doing, he would tell you right then and there, oh, this is the measurement, this is good. And like,
Yeah.
rather than, I suppose,
Just sitting there like
yeah,
being like, is everything okay?
yeah, like he was really good at work.
Which is exactly what you guys need.
Yeah, so we had scans with him every fortnight up until the very end.
Was that because you advocated or because they did that?
Well, I think it needed to happen. So once the stitch was in, they were checking that.
Yeah.
Then they were also checking Bub's growth. So because what happened with Lexie, and I suppose when she passed and was born, they thought that her weight was, I suppose, they thought she was basically like a smaller gestation. She wasn't weighing like a 23-week baby should have.
Yeah.
But then it was like, well, when did she pass kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they would then, measuring this Bub's growth.
Yeah.
Lila's growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every week or every fortnight, they would, do a scan. They were checking the cervix, placenta, fluid, Bub's growth, like just all these.
Just all the things.
All the things. And yeah, every fortnight he'd be like, yeah, this is how much Bub weighs. And yeah, she tracked nicely.
At what point do they take out the stitching?
Well, yes, that was planned to be removed at 36 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was always having a planned cesarean.
Yeah.
I think just given what I'd been through, like with birth of Lexie and Oli, I just wanted a different experience.
Yeah.
One that was quick and I suppose I could be in control.
Yeah.
So the plan was stitch out at 36 and cesarean at 38.
Yeah.
At around 31 weeks. Yeah, it was after my baby shower. My blood pressure was a bit high. So then we're just kind of monitoring that as well. And then I think it was about 33 weeks. I was regularly going to the hospital to have a blood pressure profile, like do the urine for preeclampsia. And I'd always do an ECG on Bub when I was there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of not enjoyed going, but I got to like hear Bub.
It was
just
comfort.
like reassuring, I think, getting close to the end.
Yeah.
When, I was finished work at 33 weeks and I had kind of had that time being like, oh my God, like I'm so close.
Yeah.
Like
she kept you on your toes.
She really did.
Yes.
I was 35 weeks on the day and I went to hospital just for a regular profile that I'd been doing, I suppose, the week and a half since finishing work. And then, I never left the hospital because it had got really high.
So she was like, I'm coming.
Yeah.
And I just like circling back to your baby shower.
Yeah.
That was the most beautiful like baby shower. It was an ode to Lexie and Oli as well.
Yeah.
They were there
Special.
in spirit. It was so special. It was just that was one of the most special, I want to say specialist, and that is not grammatically correct. But it was a beautiful baby shower. And you looked beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And then 35 weeks and you didn't leave the hospital.
Yeah. So that day, I stayed that night and I was kind of like, I'll go home the next day. But Kelly came and she was like, yeah, no, you're going to stay here until Bub's born. Just with my blood pressure, the medication wasn't helping to bring it down.
Yeah.
And I think given my history, it was just like better to keep a close eye on things. And, if we have to get Bub out quickly, that's what we'll do. So I had steroids that day. And the next day I had the scan with the specialist. That was my last scan. And he was like, yep, get Bub out. Because he had mentioned, I think, around 20 weeks that my placenta wasn't a 40-week placenta.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, which apparently can be quite common. Like some placentas just don't last for 40 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not a doctor, but yeah, like basically the placenta might have then stopped working as what it was, and then Bub's growth slows down, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Pregnancy is not linear.
No. So he was like, yep, let's get Bub out. He was like, I don't know the gender. I think it is 2.6 kilos, roughly. He's like, that's a good weight. Like, yeah. So
let's go.
Yeah. But then from there, it was just like every day. I didn't know what day the cesarean was going to be.
Okay.
It was just kind of like playing it by ear and just getting as close to 36 weeks as we could.
Yeah.
But actually a year ago today, so the 26th of August, that morning in hospital, my blood pressure was really high and it wasn't coming down. They were increasing the medication. It just wasn't, doing its thing. And Kelly came and saw me and she goes, you're having a baby tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was crazy.
This time a year ago, you get told you're having a baby tomorrow. Tell us.
Yeah. So that day I was actually allowed to leave hospital for like gate leave. I got to go home and actually pack my bags, get the bag that I packed and do a few things. It was a bit of a mad scramble the few days before. The baby seat wasn't in the car because we were just really unprepared.
Yeah.
Given, I suppose.
Understandably.
I think I was told be around the morning that I'd be taken. I should mention Lyla was breech too, so she had to be.
Just add that one in there.
She knew that she was coming out that way.
Yeah.
So I was taken, I think, about maybe 11. Like we were just waiting around that morning. I was taken about 11 o'clock maybe. And it was just like such a surreal day. Like I wasn't nervous at all. Like it was just, I don't know. The mood was just
a completely different experience.
Yeah. And like all the theatre team, like they knew like what we'd been through. And it was just like everyone knew like how special, like not that other babies aren't special, but like how long awaited this moment was.
Yeah.
And we spoke about with Kelly, what Naif's job was going to be because we didn't know the gender. So she was going to, lift the baby up and Naif was going to announce the gender. And we went in, had the spinal, and I was a pro at that because I had it done for the stitch.
Not your first rodeo job.
And I should mention that the stitch never got taken out because she was like, we'll just take it out during the cesarean process.
Yeah.
So, I was laying there and then I didn't really know they had started and probably, I don't know how long it was, but minutes and just lifts up a baby.
And what did Nath say?
It's a boy. But it was a girl. But it wasn't like convincing it's a boy. It was like, he wasn't sure and I think because of the cord and like things a bit swollen and
that is classic Nath.
Kelly and the other, I suppose, assistant like kind of pulled her back and she was like, no, like look.
Oh my God, Nath.
Yeah. So that was funny and I think because she was early as well. I didn't get to have her on my chest straight away. She got taken to like the, I think, panda little crib bed thing and had all the checks and but she cried like straight away and it was
so beautiful.
Her and Nath went to the special care nursery and I just got stitched up and they took the
unstitched and stitched up.
Cervical stitch out.
Yeah.
And I met them up in the nursery a short time after being in recovery.
How was that for you guys?
Just amazing.
Yeah.
And I can't believe like she's one tomorrow.
Oh my God. And she is so scrummy. Little Lyla. She's just like, she's a special baby and she's got like some special auras around her as well.
Yeah.
With Lexie and Oli. Oh, you did it, doll.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah. And I don't want to keep saying I don't have the words, but it is like, I don't think you can put into words that entire few year experience.
I don't like the word journey, but like,
Yeah.
And it was just, a lot, but we got there in the end.
Yeah. Firstly, I want to say, Ali, like, this is such a personal, like, story. And so, like, thank you for coming on and sharing like something so intimate. I always say it's a privilege, but really like it's not lost on me that it's like people go through really hard things and everyone has their own version of hard as well. You and Nath are two like really special people in mine and Josh's life and yeah, it's crazy to think that we were going to sit down and talk about this.
Yeah,
And then
2023.
and then so much more has happened. I'll probably ask 2 questions. One would be like for friends and family that might have someone in their life that are going through something really tough, similar to your circumstances and what you guys went through. What did you find was like supportive and helpful, and maybe not so supportive and helpful? Like, what would you say to somebody?
Yeah, I would say just like checking in regularly if they, I suppose, want to be checked in on. I say that because with Lexie, I think I didn't like, everyone was messaging me, but I think the second time around with Oli, I was just kind of like, I just need some space,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So checking in if they want to be checked in on.
Yeah.
I just needed some, extra time, I think, to process. And I was just in shock and didn't want the influx of messages.
Yeah.
I suppose because I'd already been through that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But just, food, keeping them busy, just seeing if they want to go for a walk or hanging out with them. And like I know one of my friends, I think when I told her I was pregnant with Lyla, she was like, what can we do for you? Like, how can I help?
Yeah.
Basically. And it was like, well, do you have a time machine? I think that's what I said. Like, there's not, to make me feel, I'm always going to be anxious about this.
Yeah.
But just knowing that people were there.
Yeah.
And keeping them busy and.
Yeah. I think that's it. It's like checking in and just asking what that looks like for somebody.
Yeah.
And because like people, I think, don't want to, they want to check in, but then they don't know how, and they don't want to not check in, but they want to give space. So I think it's just like whatever that looks like for that person.
Just a love heart or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about for yourself looking back, like what would you say to somebody that that might be going through something like this?
Yeah, I would say to advocate for yourself. So, if you've gone through something similar, if you want tests done, just do them. Like, it's not gonna hurt. You've got to pay for them at the end of the day. Like
What they're there for.
Yeah. Peace of mind. Everything might be okay, but then
How does things look differently for you and Nath now? Like, if in terms of, I think we were talking about this prior, but like especially for Nath too, like men, like it's different for men. Like they go through like processing grief and like things that like bad things have happened. Like, does the perspective or like how he shows up look a bit different now, like in his life?
Yeah, like I would say he's like checks in on his friends more and like is, I suppose, an advocate for mental health. Like speaking to friends maybe they've gone, say something like an early miscarriage or, kind of being that person for them and checking in on people and he definitely does that.
Sorry to speak on behalf of Nath. Like shout out to Nath. We love him. And tomorrow Lyla is 1 and we are celebrating her on the weekend and celebrating you guys as well.
Yeah.
Like such a special time. She is gorgeous. It is so beautiful to see, like, to be able to be in this season of life with you guys as well. And this is such a tribute to Lexie and Oli as well, and a tribute to you guys. So thank you for coming on and we're having this chat. I'm just going to wrap up and say happy birthday eve, Lyla. This is like shout out to her as well. And thanks for coming on the Other Gal Sally.
Thank you for having me.
Love it.